An asylum seeker who was told he would be going on this flight to Rwanda has given us his account of what happened. We've been following the progress of an Iraqi man, Zahir, not his real name, who's spoken to us by phone from Colnbrook Detention Centre near Heathrow. Talk me through what happened yesterday.
They say that you have come to take you to the plane to Rwanda. I say I say that the court hasn't finished yet. They say you have to take you, and I don't have. So they take me by force. It was the four of them. Two of them take my hand, and others take my feet, and one of them grab my head. So when I just got downstairs, I said, "Oh, of course, I'm coming.
So what happened after that? So then were you put in a van?
Yeah, pushed me in the van, and in the van, they told me that if I make any movement, they grab me, they tie me up. So when we get the report, I see my friend that they tied him up, his hand, his feet.
Out of 7 men taken to the airport, 5 boarded the plane Tuesday night. But at the last minute, all had their deportation at the very least postponed after the European Court of Human Rights ruled in one man's appeal that the government needed to wait for next month's judicial review, which will rule on whether the Rwanda policy itself is legal.
The courts in London decided that it was fine for them to be sent to Rwanda on the basis they would be there for only a few weeks before the High Court reaches a decision by the end of next month. The Strasbourg Court, the Human Rights Court, decided that they couldn't be sure they would be brought back and therefore took a different view.
Sophie Lucas, whose firm represents 3 of the men, says this shouldn't be portrayed as the EU overruling the UK.
The European Convention on Human Rights was part drafted and signed by Winston Churchill and is incorporated into our UK domestic laws. The question here is not, we broke the rules, how can we get rid of them? It's, we broke the rules, how can we make policies that comply with them?
The Home Secretary says the policy is legal and humane.
It has saddened me, Madam Deputy Speaker, to see Rwanda so terribly misrepresented and traduced in recent weeks. It is another example of how all too often critics not only don't know what they're speaking about, but seek to vilify another international country that has a good track record when it comes to refugees and stepping up to international responsibilities.
Shadow Home Secretary Yvette Cooper.
The opposition says the policy was always set to fail.
This is not and never has been a serious policy, and she knew that when she chartered the plane. She knew that among the people she was planning to send to Rwanda on this plane were torture and trafficking victims.
The government insists they need to stop the cruel trafficking of asylum seekers across the Channel, and more than 100 more arrived today. But Zahir, who's made this crossing, says actually the government is behaving just like the traffickers.
I told them what's the difference between you and the traffickers.
Yeah.
The traffickers told us to do something, and we say no, and they hate us, beat us, and they push us to do it.
So you were reminded of what it was like being trafficked?
Yeah, it was the same thing. It was no difference. They say that UK it's a democratic country. They say, where is the human rights? I don't know. What's the difference between them and the traffickers?
The security firm involved, Mighty, told Sky News, our focus is on treating the people in our care with dignity and respect, and we are confident that our officers have acted professionally. The firm said staff wore body cameras and restraint is only ever used as a last resort to ensure the safety of those travelling and their staff members. Jason Farrell, Sky News.